you ever wondered why witch hunts were at their peak in the 1600s? And what does this all have to do with war? My name's Jen, I'm a War Studies PhD student, and I'm going to try and explain the links between these different topics. The 1600s was a time of major social and economic upheaval. The printing press had just been developed, and this really is the start of the democratization of information. It can be thought of in a similar way to how we use mobile phones, the internet and social media today. Suddenly everyone had access to religious texts. The increased access to information worsened religious splits across Europe. Catholicism was splitting from Protestantism and communities were becoming more individualistic. At the same time, capitalism and globalization was just nascent and gradually increasing. Collectively, all of these things, increased information, a change to the economic order and a change to the religious order and the dominance of Catholicism in Europe, led to a breakdown and increased the breakdown of feudal societies, which had been neatly structured for centuries. You might be wondering what all of this has to do with witchcraft. As society was changing, there was an increasing focus on the individual, with families moving out of feudal communities to live on their own. This breakdown in traditional societal formation led to widespread suspicion and paranoia, which was exacerbated by religious wars. So, in amongst all of this, the most vulnerable members of society started being targeted, and especially those who seemed to be kind of misfits or out of place. And one very good example were healing women who lived on their own. They were often what were then called spinsters. They didn't have children, they didn't have a husband, and they'd lived for centuries among feudal communities or some way outside of feudal communities, offering medicine to people who fell sick, and they were not only tolerated but visited for centuries for their remedies. But in the 1600s, these women started to be targeted as witches, and they're especially vulnerable to accusations of working with or dancing with the devil and making others in their community sick. And so really what I'm trying to say is these events, witchcraft, warfare, capitalism, breakdown in social order, all combine to create fear, paranoia and suspicion of the so-called enemy, whoever that is, in this case imagined.